been a ton of interest in cold brew. This is my cold brew right here. It is delicious. Oh, this is delicious. I really don't recommend the sit in the refrigerator for 12 or 24 hours. That style of cold brew has never turned out good for me. But this is the other method that I've really adopted that I really like. This is Lance Hedrick's method. It's 80% hot water and 20% ice. So I'm going to do a 650 milliliter brew. You can do this in a V60, you can do this in a Chemex, in a Vandola. Those are the easiest ones. You can do it in a coffee maker as long as you know exactly how much water you're putting into that coffee maker. But we're going to do a 650 milliliter. I'm going to use this Flor de Caña V60 because it's cool. So the first thing, let's figure out our numbers. The ratio that I recommend is a 1 to 15 for this. So if we're doing a total of 650 milliliter brew, divide that by 15, that is 43.3 grams of coffee. But you know what? It really does help to just like grab a Post-it note or something, some little piece of scratch paper, and let's write these numbers down so that we don't get confused. It can be very easy to do. So I'm going to put up here at the top 650 milliliters, 43 1/3 grams of coffee. So somewhere between 43 and 44 grams is fine, anywhere in there. That's our total brew. Now let's figure out how much hot and how much ice. So 650 times 0.8, 80% hot. That is 520 milliliters hot. And 650 times 0.2 is 130 milliliters ice. The ice comes later. So what we're going to do is we're going to brew the hot down and then we're going to stir in the ice, and that kind of flash chills it. All right, so we got all that ready. Let's measure out our coffee. All right, so put your bowl on there. Zero out your scale. Somewhere between 43 and 44 grams of coffee for a 1 to 15 ratio, and that's on a 650 milliliter brew. 43.6. Love it. Shoot for a medium grind, medium fine, just a little on the fine side. All right, so I've got my coffee ready to go, but don't put it in your V60 or anything yet because we need to pre-rinse the filter. So with number 2 size V60, make sure you fold over that seam and then pop it in your V60. Now I am just going to run this under the sink, just under cold water. We don't need to preheat the receptacle or anything because this is a cold brew. All right, so the filter is rinsed. We're ready to add our coffee. There's nothing in here. We don't need to preheat anything. You can kind of level that bed out and put a little divot in the center just to help that water go down. Zero out your scale. All right, I forgot to preheat my water. So let's get the ice prepped. So I'm going to set this aside for now, and just grab a receptacle or something just to get a whole bunch of ice and another bowl because we need to measure out 130 grams of ice. All right, so I just grabbed a whole bunch of ice here so that you can kind of play around with the different sizes and stuff. Grab the bowl that you're going to measure your ice in, zero out your scale, and let's figure out how much is 130 grams of ice. We're at 135, so maybe if we can play around with that just a little bit. I think there we're at 131.7, 132, so that's just fine. That's close enough. The bigger the chunks of ice that you can come up with, the better, because we want that to really flash cool your coffee. So I'm going to set that aside, and then the water is almost boiling and ready to go. All right, you can just take your water right off the boil. That is just fine. Let's just take a quick look at your numbers again. Remember, we're doing a total brew of 650 milliliters, but only 520 of that is hot. So right here, our goal is to hit 520 milliliters, but we're going to do a bloom. So zero out your scale and put in about 100. Oh, start your timer. Sorry. I have a timer on my scale. If you don't have a timer, use your phone. Shooting for 100 grams of water just for the bloom phase. Really the goal here is just to get all of your grounds saturated and start activating that CO2. All right, so at 1 minute, let's take it up to 350 grams of water. And remember just to pour in concentric circles. There we're at 354. And then we'll wait till about 1:45. At 1:45, let's just take it up to about 450 or so. Really just making sure that you're getting all the grounds wet. Shooting for a total brew time of between 3 and 4 minutes. All right, we are at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. I'm going to do the rest. So I'm going to take it all the way up to 520. All right, there is 525. I overshot it just a little bit. But now that's it for the hot. We've got our ice prepped and ready to go. When this is done, we'll stir that in right away. All right, so it is now dripping. It's slowing down quite a bit. We're at about 3 minutes and 30 seconds, so I'm really pleased with how that turned out on time. Now we can just kind of get rid of this filter paper. Set this aside. I'm just going to throw this into a spare bowl. Move the V60 off onto something else. Then we're going to stir in our ice. I like to zero out the scale here just to double check. We're shooting for 130 grams of ice. And really vigorously stir that in. We're trying to flash cool this. And then a little bit of that ice melted. Okay, so we're at 130 grams, which is perfect. I'm going to continue stirring this vigorously until that ice is gone. And until this is completely cool to the touch, which it is already getting there. The ice is completely stirred in. This is now cold or lukewarm. And we're ready for a glass. All right, use a generous amount of ice before you pour this coffee in. And if you want to be super fancy, you can pre-chill your glasses so that you're not losing any heat to the glass, or vice versa. All right, let's see how this turned out. Salud. That is not bad at all. That's good. That's very good, actually. Oh, that's delicious. All right, with the rest of this, you can just put it into a thermos, put it into the fridge. It'll last for about a day or two.